welcome to Let's Play Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit Episode 8, and where it is now time for our 8th and final race in the tournament, and as of which, I already said of course in the previous episode I was not going to change my car because we are going to the summit. Now let's head down to the track info and see what we can manage to ascertain.
The name Summit is fitting, not only for this course's environment, but also for its towering challenge. You'll need complete mastery of your racing repertoire to finish unscathed and victorious. Racing here is marred by hazardous cliffside driving and sudden tight corners. Steep switchbacks also pose difficulties in this snowbound region. You might want to trade your wheels for skis here, as the road twists and banks to mimic a punishing world-class slalom course. Ease off the gas and utilize strong cornering technique to overcome the constant threat of crashing. The rustic village masks a series of sharp, high-speed turns that demand smooth power slides for navigation. Keep sharp for hidden jumps that could tragically affect your chosen line.
Okay, so we are here of course once again for another super long lap. As you can see there, it is 6.4 miles, so I would imagine it'll probably take me about 3 minutes to probably set a lap around this track, if not more. And well, even though I did think about switching over to the Maranello, I've officially decided I'm going to stick with the Lambo. So, let's head over to the finale for the tournament, which takes place at the summit. And as a result of me effectively winning 4 races in the tournament already, if we would account for my pretty much skin of the teeth win at Aquatica, I am pretty sure that I will definitely finish this championship as the leader. Okay, so what I can examine from that previous run is that overall it was all going so well until the closing stages of the last lap, where I basically found myself going behind the trees and then suddenly it all just fell apart. I mean, I tried my best not to partake in the chaos that these AI were just getting me involved in, but even when I managed to clear the AI, I still had to I still had to fuck myself with their mistakes. Well, basically, they fucked me with their mistakes and then I pretty much fucked myself with my mistakes. And well, since I decided it just fell apart in the closing stages and I knew the game was going to eliminate me right in the dying moments of the tournament, I just decided my best choice was to restart. Because it just literally fell apart in the closing stages. And at the moment, things are going a lot worse than they were compared to my previous run. Because previously, I was leading this thing, and now I'm basically not. Yeah, get out me fucking way. You ain't fucking with me this time. Even then, of course, if your name is Swerve. And you're basically just trying your best to swerve your way through the field. Well, I think it looks like Ice is more or less going to dominate this run. unless he has a big one. But meanwhile for me, basically the only thing I'm really trying to do is just survive the changing altitude and pretty much diameter of the sudden elevation change that this circuit is so opportunistically presenting. I think that's a word. If I'm able to fuck. Why could I not avoid those trees? Okay, maybe choosing the Diablo was not a good idea for this course. Well, at least I can say I remembered to save it before I fuck my ass. Fuck my fucking asshole. And now it looks like I've got no chance of catching second place.
Lap 2.
Well, at least I can say the championship up to this point is pretty much secured anyway, because as long as I finish inside the top 3, the championship is pretty much mine anyway. And yes, I would still like to try and see if I could at least get second, but as far as the league goes, that has pretty much been decided up to this point. Because usually, whenever the AI tend to get out in front and they're not making mistakes, they basically just tend to dominate a race. Okay, that was a dreadful exit off those bumps. And even I know that. Even then, of course, if it's not blind madness and pure greed. I think that's a Queen reference somewhere. I think I just quoted innuendo. I think the line goes as while we rule by. Oh, there goes Bullet. I think Bullet just hit the concrete. So that pretty much leaves me to maneuver up into second position. Holy shit, I just got to 180 before I barrel rolled. Although oddly enough, I did have a barrel roll at Aquatica, and surprisingly, I was able to win in the end. But I don't think this race is going to be anything similar to that, because ISO at the moment is 6 seconds ahead of me, and I don't think it's going to be possible. Oh, there's the cable car. And personally, I don't think it's going to be possible for me to achieve winning this race. Because I think at the moment I'm making too many mistakes in order for this to be a race-winning run. But I think at the most up to this point, I can only really hope to finish in second position. And technically, if I can do that, then I would say I'm pretty much a certain fit for winning the championship. And furthermore, this time I managed to avoid clashing with the trees. I also had a problem with clashing with these lampposts as well in this part of the town, I think it was. And that really didn't help my situation, knowing that knowing that obviously I basically run into a wall if I hit one of those lamp posts.
That's your best lap. Lap 3.
Anyways, I'm running in second, Blazing is third. I honestly don't know where Bullet is. And I am still not managing to... Ah! Why did I shift down to neutral? Okay, now I'm upset. I am very much immorally upset. Fuck off. You ain't trying that shit on me. You ain't gonna side draft me, if that's what you're trying to do. It won't work. But yeah, I think the line from the song goes, as I was saying before, whilst we rule by blind madness and pure greed. I think that's what the line goes as. I don't know for sure, but I think that's what it essentially goes as. I mean, I couldn't tell you for sure, but I think that's how it goes. And I need to remember to brake here because something tells me this is going to go down very badly if I don't brake. Well, at least I remembered. At least I can say I remembered to step on the brakes this time, which is a fortunate thing. Well, there might still be an opportunity for me to win this if I can limit the mistakes, but I think it's going to be unlikely. For me to take home 5 wins in the championship. I mean, 4 is probably more than enough in my honest opinion. I mean, at the bare minimum I needed 3, but again, as a result of the AI's inconsistency compared to me, I was effectively able to win basically half of the races. I was basically able to win half of the races. Excuse me. I was basically able to win half of the races. In this championship with 4 wins already on my resume. And well, there might still be an opportunity, but I'm really not willing to go against the odds of saying if I'll either win or lose this race. I mean, it is snowing, so
It's the final lap.
I don't know for sure, but I might be able to achieve something if I get lucky. Although, at the moment, of course, I've basically been anything but lucky. Even though this is only my second attempt of trying to just tiptoe my way around this circuit more or less, I just really haven't been that successful in trying to avoid damage, in trying to go towards damage limitation. And that's a guardrail. Anyways, I can still say that I'm in this thing, so it's not over yet. So ironically, overall, it's not over yet, as far as I know. Okay, now it might be over. Fuck off, Swerve. Yeah, eat shit. Alright, well, anyways. All I need to do now is just survive the rest of the lap and then this race should be over. And there goes the other cable car. So basically what this race is about is more or less damage limitation. I mean, I know for sure that a win is pretty much impossible up to this point. Because I don't think this is going to be similar to what happened at Aquatica, where the leader basically wrecked in the dying stages, whilst I just basically slingshotted my way through to effectively take the win. So I don't think it's going to be that. But as long as I can avoid the lampposts here in the town, then I might be able to take home second, possibly third, if I'm lucky. But again, there really is no room for mistakes up to this point. So, I'm not going to win at the summit, but crucially, I am going to finish in second.
You placed second.
And ultimately, I have effectively won the tournament by 5 points. If my maths is not mistaken.
Congratulations! You've got a top 10 time for this track.
So I think, as far as I know, that does give me the championship by 5 points. And overall, I set the 6th best overall lap time, and whilst it was snowing, I might add, in my Lamborghini Diablo, which ironically enough also holds the record for being the quickest car around the summit. So, best lap of 3 minutes and 32.5 seconds, top speed 182 miles an hour, and also in the forward direction, and also it was a tournament race. So, let's move on. And all I need to do now is get myself a replay. And oddly enough, I had the top speed around this circuit by far. Although I don't think this is going to affect the championship standings for third, because I think even though Bullet finished in last, I don't think he's going to lose third position. Because Blazin finished 4th. And I'm basically going to do what I usually do, which is just record part of a lap and then just move on.
3, 2, 1, go!
And obviously going to go with camera 4 because that apparently seems of course to be the camera with the best oncoming shots. So hopefully at the very least I will manage to get something reasonable. But yeah, I mean overall, in the end of that, Ice clearly dominated that race. There was honestly no way I was going to beat the purple Diablo. He was basically too fast for me. and I was basically just too accident prone to effectively win this race. But again, it's been consistency that's kept me up here. And notably overall, as far as I know, I finished second 3 times in this championship, and I think, if my maths are correct, I also finished third in a single race, which does technically equate to an overall total of precisely 60 points, is what me thinks. Okay, well, I think I got some reasonable shots there of my Diablo whilst I was in the summit. So, let's move on. And these are your final point standings. So, in the end of that, I won by 5 points over Ice, and ironically enough, we had a 3-way tie for third. But in the end of that, it was Swerve who won the tiebreaker over Blazin and Bullet. Terra finished in 6th, only 5 points behind the third placed finishers. Tad finished in 7th with 24 points, and Carcass was last with more or less a reasonable 10 points. Judging by how abysmal his championship was. So yeah, I must admit, that is reasonable. Now let's see what happens. Do we get anything?
Congratulations! You've won the beginner tournament!
Yes we do. We get the Jag XJR15 as a result of winning the beginner tournament. Nice. Very nice. And do we get anything else? Okay, so that pretty much tells us what we have to do, and oddly enough, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So, anyways, that is the end of the so that concludes the beginner tournament, and next time we shall be doing the beginner knockout championship. And yes, the game did tell me to save the settings, so obviously that is just what I'm going to do. I'm going to save the settings. And also, just for continuity purposes, I am also going to save the records. Just to show, of course, that I have my records displayed in writing. Shalabang, shalaboom. So, that concludes the beginner tournament, and next time we shall be doing the beginner knockout competition. Stay tuned for more of NFS Hot Pursuit.